And welcome everybody to the Daily Space Weather. I'm your host Dan, aka smAsho. We're starting things out looking at the sun in 94 angstroms from the SDO, and we see a small active region forming down here in the south. It was not a sunspot when we did show prep. We'll let you know by the end if it's become a sunspot. Part of the reason why we go live. And if you're wondering where the SDO is, there's the figure 8 pattern that the SDO follows on its orbit. Let's look at some custom HelioViewer movies. Here's a zoomed out version, which includes the LASCO C2, as well as a composite of 171 angstroms and 304 angstroms. And we did see some coronal mass ejections there on the other side of the sun, so I'm not really going to cover it. We don't want the daily space weather videos to be too long. Here's a one-day video of the 171 angstroms view, along with the Earth scale there, for your amusement. Here's a 304 angstroms SDO video. Some filaments there in the northeast. And a decent view of that active region in the south. You'll see it spring to life. Pretty low levels of solar wind right now. Here's a colorized magnetogram for that same time period to give you a good view of that developing active region. There you can see just kind of popping out of nowhere there. That's the Earth-facing loud effect. Not to be confused with the Earth-facing quiet effect. And here's that active region in 171 angstroms. Pretty good view of that, showing all of that ionized iron and its magnetic looping behavior. And by the way, thanks again everybody for tuning in. We do stream these videos live, and we click on a whole lot of links so you don't have to. 10.7 centimeter radial flux is still at 70, same as yesterday. There's the 3-year and change chart of the 10.7 centimeter radial flux, a measurement of the radio output of the outer corona. The KP index, a measurement of global geomagnetism, is down to 0. And we don't see any solar flares, as noted there in the GOES X-ray flux, and we don't see any significant proton strikes on the magnetosphere either. The GOES 16 measures this data around the ionosphere layer, by the way, if you were wondering. And let's look at the real-time solar wind. We see very low real-time solar wind velocity. Solar wind density currently around 5 protons per cubic centimeter. Solar wind speed around 300 kilometers a second, about as low as she goes. And you should see that reflected in the geospace magnetosphere movie shown here. It's 4 hours of data. You can see where the Van Allen belts are likely to be. You can see these empty spaces here. Those are the plasmaspheres. There's a diffuse plasmasphere there as well. That's where the Van Allen belts trap the plasma in the magnetosphere. Next, we'll look at ground magnetic perturbations as we do daily. This is 4 hours of data. I thought it was important, so we cover it every day. Not a lot of changes in the Earth's B field. When we say geospace delta B, we're talking about changes in the B field measured in nanotesla during this polar excursion. We see a bunch of power outages, over 300,000 in Florida and Alabama alone, 45,000 or so in Louisiana, and still 11,000 in California. Keep in mind that does not track all the users. GOES magnetometer is continuing to look spiky here, and we are seeing some anomalies in the coronal magnetic field. We'll show you in a minute. First, the top view ecliptic plane field plot. And we've been indecisive in terms of what the polarity of the current sheet the Earth is in is. So if you look at the final image here, I forecasted yesterday that we would be solidly in the North Pole current sheet, shown here in green. And we don't see a field force line yet, which means indecision, perhaps. Keep in mind the data is 1 hour and 34 minutes old and can change suddenly with no warning. And we'll show you this inversion in the coronal magnetic field in a minute. First, the line of sight field plot. And there you can see the B field of the sun, which happens to also be the interplanetary magnetic field, by the way. Nothing to write home about there. No major changes in the B field associated with that active region in the south. An indication that it's not particularly strong. And here's the coronal the coronal field plot. And you can see this little flip happening at the end here, where we see the closed field force lines appearing in the south, and coronal hole field force lines coming out of the south of the equator, around the equator actually, as opposed to where they were. So that's an interesting little flip there, and that's something we'll be keeping an eye on, as I've only been following this data for a few weeks here, and this is an interesting scenario. You can see the south pole of the corona looking like it now has closed field force lines shown there in pink. By the way, if you haven't watched Smash Lights, we have a playlist. Check out youtube.com/smAshomash/playlists. We did a Smash Lights today. Thanks to everybody that presses like and subscribe on YouTube. We greatly appreciate that. Please don't forget to do so. Thanks for leaving a comment. El Macan. We're doing the daily space weather. We do it every day. It's not always live on Twitch, but it's every day on BitChute and YouTube. Check it out in those places if you haven't. And BitChute also has some exclusive content. It's bitchute.com/smAshomash. We've branched out into alt tech all over the place. And again, we do stream live to Twitch most days to make the daily space weather videos. Just in case there's anything super important, we like to stay in practice, and we love the platform. So follow us on Instagram also. We've got this great image of the sun from yesterday morning behind a smoky sky. Yes, the smoke has been making it all the way to Pennsylvania. You may also see original memes over there, like our Washington condiments meme, since ketchup and mustard is not yet considered to be racist. We also talked about COVID because we're very scared and spooked about it. I'm very scared and spooked. I'm spooked. All right, I'm spooked. I'm scared. You've convinced me that it's very scary, which is why I'm wearing this COVID as a hat. Please leave a comment if you like my new COVID wig. And let me. All right, I think I got him. Did I get him? I got him. By the way, consider getting a MANSA shirt, since it's up to you to make America not suck again. Have you noticed it's been sucking around America? By the way, thanks to everybody who purchased items at the Teespring store. It's all linked below the video, and you can also link to it at smAshomash.org. The Smash stores are both there, as well as the Smash forum and our Amazon affiliate links. Let's talk about what we talked about. Well, actually, I'm going to have to let you do that yourself. So check out the Smash Lights. It'll actually premiere after this video today. We also talked cosmology. We went down a rabbit hole. We talked about this neutron star. You want to hear about it? Well, again, watch the Smash Lights. Thanks to our subscribe stars and to our patrons, the true source of funding for the content. Please consider becoming a Patreon, as we've got a lot of things to do and not a lot of funding to do it. It's patreon.com/smAshomash. Yesterday we dropped ringtones. Little sound clips that I make custom, as I've been a record engineer for about 20 years. So we dropped some ringtones. Those were only for the $5 a month tier on up, the elemental tier and higher. We have 9 tiers at Patreon. Again, patreon.com/smAshomash. You can visit all those links at smAshomash.org, which will redirect you to smAshomash.com. So check it out. It's good stuff. There's also affiliate links there. And again, Smash Lights coming out after today's daily space weather. Let's get back to data. The relativistic electron flux is still quite low. There's the 1-year graph. We don't see any charging hazards. No surprises there. And the relativistic electron forecast model here showing a small uptick. Looks like still below electron storm levels. And you see a fairly cratered electron flux here, as we've seen a ramp down of activity. We saw a little flurry of activity there in August, as we saw 3 sunspots like right in a row, all on the front of the solar disk at the same time. or at least active regions. There's the GOES electron flux. Here's a total electron content forecast visualization. We do see some nighttime anomalies here, some pretty high electron flux levels even at night, which is not the norm. Most GPS errors occur around the equator at noontime. Here's just one slice of the atmosphere. It's the F2 ionosphere layer, the entire F layer rather, as the F2 layer is only where you see yellow or darker colors. Red means an F1 layer. And at nighttime, most of the time, we see the ionosphere layer break down to only one layer, which is what that red blob is. Let me just check the life of the stream in our chats. Again, thanks everybody for viewing. And we used to show only 6 hours of the ionosphere. Now we show a full day to give folks a better idea, and it does show you the anomalies associated with the South Atlantic anomaly, which is someplace around here, and it's been splitting in two, threatening to create another one down here by South Africa, apparently. Anyway, here's the latest image. That one from 7:45 Universal Time, today on September 18th. Now, we like to show everybody where stuff is in the solar system, as we have all kinds of different folks watching the videos for different purposes. Here's where stuff is now. There's where things will be in a week. And we see another equilateral triangle forming here between Mercury, Venus, and the Earth, which is going to prompt people to think all kinds of crazy things that have nothing to do with reality or predictive phenomenon. Next, looking at a star chart, I always like to know what's going on above my head, so I go to in-the-sky.org. I face mine to the south. I like to draw in the ecliptic, actually, also. And if you're up before dawn, you may see Mars and Venus. I'm in Aries. Mars is currently at magnitude -2.2, and it's going to get brighter as Earth is closing in for a close encounter of the Mars kind. Let's look at earthquakes in the past 24 hours. It looks like the largest of the past 24 may have been this 5.5 in the Band Sea, which was at depth, a depth of 182 kilometers. That's a pretty deep quake. Here's a very shallow quake at Hawaii. Let's check and see where that's located, as it's 1,800 meters above sea level. And it's right underneath Mauna Loa, yes. Now, it's not directly under the main calderas, but you can see where that's located. There's the main caldera underneath my pointer. That quake at a depth of -1.8 kilometers, over 3,000 feet above sea level. Looks like the largest of the past 24 in terms of earthquakes was a 5.6, located near Tonga and Fiji. And scrolling up the list, it's a bit of a lull in earthquakes, really. Here's a small deep quake at Alaska. Here's another deep quake at Alaska. So it's a bit of a lull in earthquakes there over the past 24. Let's check volcanoes here on volcanodiscovery.com. Semeru is erupting, flight level 14,000. Flight level 140, 14,000 feet there. Tokono also erupting, 7,000 foot ash plume there. And we've got another addition to the list here. This one's back on the list. Rincon de la Vieja has produced a 2,200 foot tall plume of ash. Sangay exploding as well. Uptick there, flight level 200, 20,000 feet. And Sabancay is exploding and producing a 24,000 foot ash plume. Please do not attempt to hang glide over the caldera. Fly your drone. It might actually survive. It's more likely than you if you're flying over the caldera. Looking at the weather.gov map, we see quite a lot of hard freeze warnings in the northern portion of the country, as well as frost advisories, poor air quality alerts, and flash flood warnings, tropical storm warnings and flash flood warnings in the Gulf. We'll show you a little bit of a forecast there. Some good news for the West Coast, as it looks like there's going to be some rain coming in.
Changes are coming at least throughout Friday as a new air mass works in from the Pacific. This one cooler and with a few showers.
So that's a good thing. Some showers rolling into the west, hopefully putting out some fires. Now let's talk about the North Atlantic. It looks like the Gulf Coast of Texas could get hammered with 20 inches of rain here. This is the 1 week forecast. So here's where things will be in approximately 1 week on Friday, September 25th. And you can see another system moving in there. into the Gulf region. So the possibility for 20 inches of rain there on the Texas Gulf Coast, according to the GFS forecast on Tropical Tidbits. That's the total accumulated precipitation forecast. Next, we'll look at jet streams. Here are the jets of the eastern world, and let me just take a moment to look at the life of the stream once again. El Macan, yes, I'm a scientist. Here are the jet streams of the east, and we see significantly weird meridional jet stream flow up here. Doubled up jet streams in the south. Here are the jet streams of the western world. This is flight level 250 if you're wondering on nullschool.net. Come down here, go to wind, and click height 250. Flight level 250, 25,000 feet, gives us insight into the jet stream, and check out all these broken up areas over here. Got jet stream blowing the utterly wrong way in this area, east to west. Meridional jet stream flow at its finest. Shout out to our European and African viewers. There are the water vapor maps for those areas. Water vapor maps for the Far East and Oceania. Shout out to those viewers. Water vapor maps for the Americas. And you can see a great image here of this counterclockwise rotating system, which looks like it's headed straight for Bermuda. Next, we'll look at pressure maps here on windy.com. We're going to let the GFS forecast here advance. There's where things will be at noon tomorrow. And by the way, it's up to you to make America not suck again, or if you're not in America, make Earth not suck again. Head to smAsho.org and pick up a shirt. Tell your friends, tell your foes, your science noobs and science pros. Anyway, there's where things will be in about 28 hours, according to the GFS forecast. And next we're looking at lightningmaps.org. We don't really see a lot of terrestrial lightning here in the U.S. Some strikes just happening in Oregon, though. Hey, Albany, there's thunder rolling in. Next time you hear lightning, check out lightningmaps.org. Perhaps convince your foes that you're Thor and freak them out. Next, looking at the U.S. Doppler radar map here on Weather Underground, you see some rain in the mid-Atlantic states, as well as some welcome rain in Washington, Oregon, and California. There's what's going on in the cloud layer. I'm over it. Let's move on to the water vapor map. And we see a convergence over North Carolina. Let's zoom in to show you the pressure gradients of the day. This is the section designed for all of you meteorological pornographers. And we see the jet stream moving into Pennsylvania again. It looks like we're going to have some cold temperatures. If you're wondering where we're located, smAsh staff and I are located right there in eastern Pennsylvania in the Lehigh Valley. And thanks to all our new viewers, old viewers, and moderate age viewers, consider joining the smAsh team if you haven't. I'm going to vanish. So perhaps pick up yourself a MANSA shirt or a Mensa shirt, or join the smAsh team. How about this forest green smAsh team shirt? I like it. You can check all that stuff out at smAshomash.org. There are links there. Thanks to the smAsh team. Please share on your social media, etc. Again, tell your friends, your foes, your science noobs and science pros, and thank them for flying American smashways. Please keep your head and arms inside the smAsh plane at all times. We've got bonus features, including the 335 angstroms SDO 48-hour video, the colorized magnetogram, freshly refreshed for the freshness of our fresh viewers, who are not dry dudes whatsoever. They are fresh. Anyway, there's that active region. Does not look like a sunspot yet. Let's check the intensity gram, which we've just refreshed, by the way, as well. I don't see any umbre. What say you? It looks like 0 sunspots. Here's the 335 angstroms 48-hour SDO video, and it's about that time. Welcome to the Neo Renaissance. Visit our links below the video. Support the channel in any way you see fit. Don't forget to press like and subscribe if you enjoy the content. And we'll be coming at you with more in the near future. Don't forget to watch Smash Lights. And since it'll never be now again, may that solar wind be at your back and that covidiocy absent from your locale. Sorry, COVID.